So, one of my all-time favorite Rush tunes, even though Tom Sawyer is the biggest hit Rush ever had, this tune I'm pretty sure is a close second, from the same album, the classic Moving Pictures. And you know, it's funny because I've listened to these songs for so many years, and when you really sit down to learn them, you start to realize things, at least for me, that I never realized before. And the obvious things are how great the playing is, and that it's technically proficient and, you know, adventurous and all kinds of cool tones and things like this and whatever. But you start to realize that the actual songwriting and the forms of the songs are way more intricate than you might have first thought. So we'll discuss some of that today, as well as some of the parts in the guitar and bass playing. One of the first things I'd like to say is a bit of a disclaimer. The guitar tone that I got for the performance section, that's not the guitar tone that's on the original recording. And I just simply couldn't find it. It's a very, very unique guitar sound. He was playing a Strat style guitar that had a humbucker pickup installed in it. And you could see him playing it in the video. Now, since I don't have that, what I wound up doing is I double tracked two guitars playing the same thing. I did one track with the Strat, and then I double tracked it with the Les Paul and sort of tried to mix it that way. Well, no matter. The point is, let's appreciate the song and the playing. And, you know, not every tone should be easily got by people like us, right? I mean, that's one of the things that makes it even more special, is that you can't just plug into a computer program and suddenly dial it up. No, that's what makes that thing special, right? All right, let's dive in. What you're going to find is how the patterns interweave, right? It's really interesting. So, first of all, the song, like a lot of Rush songs, switches in between 3/4 and 4/4, like so smoothly you don't even realize it's happening, right? And as far as the actual guitar parts go, you know, there's a great video on YouTube of the man himself, Alex Lifeson, showing you how to play all the parts. It's a fascinating look into his mindset. And yeah, man, he knows he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows all the notes and everything. So more reason to learn the fingerboard, right? Okay. I thought it would be kind of cool to go to the solo section and listen to what, first of all, the guitar solo by itself, and then the bass line underneath the guitar solo would sound like with the actual chords underneath them, right? So that whole thing is basically just a 4-measure pattern in 3/4 time. It's a G sharp minor, an E, an F sharp, and back to G sharp minor. 4 measures in 3/4, and that repeats. Let's see what it sounds like with those chords underneath the parts. We'll start with the bass line. So there, you can hear how busy the bass line is, throughout that thing. I mean, first of all, we're in 3/4 time, but beyond that, he's playing so free and loose, but it always comes down to locking in on the downbeat with the drums, and he's always supporting the harmony. He's not just taking off on a tangent. It's a very unique way of playing, and that's one of the things about Geddy Lee, is that he always had this ability, in a 3-piece band, that he could fill in space on the bass without getting too distracting, but you could still, if you wanted to, just focus on the bass part and listen to that, as its own thing. Same could be said about the guitar parts and the drum parts as well. And the fact that they were able to find a way to do that simultaneously with all three of them is one of the things that really made them, stand out from a lot of other bands. So let's keep going. Here's the guitar solo. Right, so first thing I'm going to say is, of all the tunes I've done on my channel so far, that guitar solo was the hardest thing to try to nail. The timing of it is, I can't even really describe it. It floats, right? It's not in strict time. The bass and drums are. The guitar solo sort of just floats around it, and part of that, it's got those delays on it, and it really has that resonating thing, and it's one of the reasons it works, but yeah, it's a tall order. Now, one of the things though, when you think about the guitar solo, is his choice of notes, like the actual pitches that he's using, and it's primarily from the B major scale, and that's one of the things we can talk about for this song. We're more or less in the key of B, kind of like G sharp minor sort of thing, and real quick we'll talk about some of the chords starting in the verse. You got this B sort of add 4, and then G sharp minor 11, right? Those are very rich chords, all utilizing the 4th of the chord, right? So, B add 4, that E notes the 4th away from B, right? Minor 11, the 11, that C sharp note, is really the 4th note away from G sharp. It's just that it's that octave higher, so minor 11. So you've got the root, 5th, flat 7, there's the 11, 5th. So those are, total Alex Lifeson type, chord voicings. And he uses those in the chorus as well, like he starts on the G sharp minor 11. That little thing, so it's a minor 7, G sharp minor 7 first, and then adding the C sharp to it. And then the E major with the sharp 11, which is an A sharp note. So you get an E chord, open B, A sharp. Then you get an F sharp chord, right? See that? That's an F sharp with the add 4 and add 7. The B and the E against an F sharp major chord. You get that rub, that half step rub between the B and the A sharp. And like I said before, that video of Alex, teaching Limelight, it's well worth your time to check that out. And he goes through the whole solo and everything too. So it would be a fun thing, to listen to, and then compare that to the original, recording and see what you can find with that. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's breakdown. And if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this to come. Thanks for watching.